And it was interesting at Eco Challenge because Eco Challenge is in the most remote part of the world. We're racing through nations and parts of the world where people don't even know what's going on. And we race in September. It's televised in April. So there's this real gap, this real understanding of what's happening while we're out there. And in Borneo, for the first time ever, they put it live on the internet. And they put it live on the internet because Burnett had never wanted to do that before because he felt there would be outside interference with racers. But Borneo was so remote that they knew that there could not be any communication from outside of the race to the racers. So they put it live on the internet, and they had a function on the website that you could send emails to the teams that were racing. And so I'll be honest with you guys, we were out there racing. We had come out of that big rappel. We were facing a huge trek to the next checkpoint. And our feet were so bad that we just could hardly walk. It was like walking on broken glass. The only way, we'd actually had to cut the tops out of our shoes because as a rookie team, we didn't realize that more experienced, more veteran teams, they brought larger and larger shoes in their gearboxes, and they would increase the size of their shoes as the race went on. Because you can imagine, if you don't lay down and sleep, your feet just continuously swell throughout this race. And so we had to cut the tops out of our shoes. The bottom of our feet were so raw, it was like walking on broken glass. And we ended up walking along chanting, "It doesn't hurt at all. It doesn't hurt at all." We would just say it out loud to get some sort of rhythm to keep ourselves moving. And we got to the point that we were all suffering so badly that we all agreed, if the next section of the race, which is kept a mystery to us, we don't know what's coming next, if the next section of the race was running, trekking, anything on our feet, we all agreed we were pulling out of the race. We were withdrawing, we were done. We get to the next checkpoint. The guy manning it holds out a wad of paper. And as we approach the checkpoint, all of us look at each other, and we're thinking, more waivers? Like, what are they going to do to us next? You know, as it turns out, it was 300 emails from home. They had printed them off the website, and throughout the race, you're randomly selected for drug testing, randomly selected for medical inspection. At any one of those selections, you're directed into the medical tent and delayed during the race while you undergo medical inspection. We had been randomly selected, we're directed into the medical tent. We walk in with these 300 sheets of paper, and instead of laying down on those hospital beds and sleeping, we start reading. And at a glance, I'm shocked because it is an email from my dad who lives in Shetty Camp, Nova Scotia, which is the tiny little speck of a town on the north tip of Cape Breton Island on the very far east coast of Canada. My dad came to Ontario at 17 to play junior A hockey. He played semi-pro hockey all of his life. You know, he was that guy. He was that guy that got the most penalty minutes on his team. He was that guy. And he had 3 daughters. 3 daughters. So I'm looking at this sheet of paper, and all it says is, "I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you." You know, and to this day, it just gets me. Because we were done. We were hurting. And he was proud of me. And I wasn't at the finish line. I wasn't at the finish line. You know, and every one of my teammates had grown silent. The doctors came, they cleared us. We stood up, we walked out of that tent. And to me, it was one of the most amazing moments in the race. Because as much as we wanted it just to be done, we were willing to walk out on this race. All it took were words of encouragement from people who cared to make us stand up, go beyond where we gladly would have quit.